Alright guys, good morning, welcome to our morning note. My name is Carlos Garcia, founder and CEO of G.A.R Capital. Thanks so much for taking time out of your day to join me. It is March 24, 2021 on a Wednesday. Let's go ahead and talk market, shall we? Before we begin, make sure to click the bottom right hand corner of your screen, the little G.A.R Capital logo. Click that, turn on notifications, subscribe to our channel, like our videos. Really do appreciate it as always. Alright, Dow Futures are up 106 points, Nasdaq up 77, pulling back from the highs. S&P futures up about 14 points. Russell 2000 futures up nearly 1%. Bitcoin futures up 3.74% on Elon Musk stating that Tesla will now accept Bitcoin as a form of payment. That's pretty big. Crude futures up 2.61%. Nice to see bounce in crude. Let's see here. Gold futures up 0.35%, 17.31 an ounce. Silver futures 25.34 an ounce, up nearly 0.5%. And the dollar yen up about 11 pips, 108.71. Copper, $4.07, down 0.23%. And euro dollar down 19 pips, 118.32 for my Forex people currently. Take a look at the Dixie, which is the dollar index, up 0.14%, still below that 200-day moving average on the daily. And the VIX is only down slightly, about 6 cents at 2024.30 currently. Looking at the Nasdaq here on the future side. Again, looking at this chart here, we do have some Nasdaq longs here, long contracts, and looking at this setup here, you can see this downtrend down and this uptrend here. Pretty funny enough that it's been this trend here has been following the 50-day moving average on the hourly, and right here we broke out of this this downward line here, this slope here, a couple of times. You can almost call it a double top here, but the question is, do we get enough juice to get us above 13,171? I think we do, and we should continue with yields falling. Let's go ahead and take a look at yields. Yields right now currently, 10-year 1.631%, down about 7 basis points currently. Let's take a look at pre-market movers. Pre-market movers today, AMC's up 2.35%. Sundial Growers, which I always see here, is down 0.41%. Okay, Intel up 3.73% on the news that they're building a $2 billion facility to increase supply of their semiconductor chips. Apple up 0.30%. Boeing nearly up 1%. Looks green across the board. JP Morgan, banks up 0.7%. Walt Disney up 0.7%. Nike up 0.5%. Goldman Sachs nearly up 1%. Chevron up 1.16%. Amgen, Procter & Gamble, and McDonald's are red. In the S&P, AMD is down on the Intel news, down about 0.5%. American Airlines up nearly 2%. Ford Motor Company up 1.15%. And Tesla up 1%. Was higher earlier this morning. Micron up 1.17%. Applied Materials against semiconductor space, 5.17%. That's good to see that semiconductors are getting a boost. With Intel, again, there's a big part of tech. And that's what's moving pre-market. So, again, let me go ahead and reiterate what we're watching. The dollar index. Again, we talked about that. I do a video now every day after the market closes on Instagram TV. It's a market recap, and what I talked about was the dollar index here on the daily. And again, that 200-day moving average, 92.80. If 92.80 does break, then commodities are going to take a hit, and the market will go down and be a little more chop. But for right now, we're holding on to that resistance here right around 92.45-ish so far, kind of holding that level. 92.80 needs to be below, needs to hold that. If not, it's going to be a breakout, and then the next level will probably be around 94, 94.50. So again, that would not be good for equities, definitely not for commodities, meaning oil, copper, Bitcoin, silver, gold will all take hits. So keeping an eye on that. QQQ, I do have calls on it, and you can see nice bounce back. Again, we looked at that with regards to futures. And again, same deal, almost a triple top here. Needs to get to 321.49, which I'm expecting we will get today. And on E-mini futures, looking at the future side, you can see that 50-day moving average seems to be that resistance. The good news is that the 50-day moving average seems to want to break above the 100. Again, you want short-term moving averages to break above longer-term moving averages to indicate a bullish signal. The problem is that the 100-day is still below the 200 and the 50 is below the 200. So we need that cross back up. Also, looking at ahead on E-mini futures on the daily, again, gives us a little more of a bigger purview. The 100-day, the 50, the 100, and the 200-day are right exactly where they should be. So again, still bullish on the daily, longer time frames, but shorter time frames, again, choppiness as you can see. I also have some Apple calls. Let me go ahead and take a look at Apple here. And Apple is right at 122.88. I have Apple calls for next week. Right now, it seems to be stuck in that range between 123.74 and right around 122.50. A break of 124.27 should be able to get that again with a boost in the Nasdaq. Let's see if yields continue to fall. But Nasdaq is leading the way. Russell 2000 is actually doing better, nearly 1%. So that's what I'm watching today. So let's answer some questions. Morning. Thoughts on QS? QS is QuantumScape. Looking at it here, again, kind of just hugging the 200-day moving average on the hourly. On the daily, again, big pop to 132. It's taken about almost a 50, more of a 50% drawdown here, but still above the 50-day and still above the 100. If you're looking to buy the dip, I would say right around 50 bucks seems about right. Miguel's asking why the hit on commodities and equities with a breakout of the dollar. Keep in mind that commodities are priced into dollars. So if the dollar is worth more, commodities are going to get hit in that price. Just think of it if you're traveling to Japan and the dollar is increasing. That means your Japanese yen that you'll be buying is probably worth less. So people in Japan, they're trying to buy, let's say, travel to the United States as an example, their yen is worth less in comparison to the dollar. So again, a stronger dollar is great for tourism. Stronger dollar is great for, if we travel to anywhere in the world and we want to use our dollars. That's great. But when it comes to commodities, then it does hit the price because, again, it is priced into dollars. The dollar index is up slightly, 0.18%. But Bitcoin, obviously, we know the demand now with Tesla offering to buy, you can buy cars, their vehicles with Bitcoin, which is really, really big. Again, now you're seeing utilities, not just digital gold in a sense. Now it's being used as a form of currency, which people have done before, but never to that point where people are actually buying stuff or buying stuff with Bitcoin. That's really big, and that's why you got to stay long Tesla. Tesla's ahead of the game, and they even Elon even said that any kind of purchases they take in Bitcoin, they will not convert it to fiat. They will hold it on their balance sheet. That's pretty awesome. Glad to hear it because that Bitcoin is definitely the future. Blockchain is the future. Crude oil again. Today we have inventories at 10:30 in the morning. Let's see if we get an inventory build or we get more demand, maybe some production cuts. We'll see. But again, that's really what stands in regards to crude oil. But again, commodities are bouncing after kind of a sell-off yesterday. Dollar is still kind of hovering around that level. Again, it needs to hold below. But good news is that global yields are falling, so you're not getting a huge bump up in yields. So interest rates are going down, which is a really good sign as well. Again, interest rates going down helps tech, helps growth. Higher yields helps value. Again, think dividend stocks, think banks, industrials, and all that stuff. Let's see. Well, the raw rotation is going on. Do you think renewable energy will be a leading sector? Yeah, I have some renewable energy. Again, NextEra Energy is a good play. Tesla, obviously, Blink, and so on and so forth. So they're fine to go ahead and own. Levels to watch for AI or RIDE. Don't know what AI is. Let me see. I'm assuming artificial intelligence. AI, I don't see. Oof. Let's take a look at the daily. Pretty ugly here. Ugly in the daily, ugly in the hourly. Oh, man. I guess if you're trying to buy the dip, you might as well just do it here. I don't know much about this company. Let's take a look at RIDE. RIDE taking a big dump. Again, you're talking about more than a 60% drawdown from the highs of 31.80. Don't know much about this company, but there is a gap to fill right here at $10.41. We may revisit that. So if you're looking to buy the dip, that may be the place to do it. Thoughts on Lululemon? Lululemon just got a price increase. Let's see where they're at. I own the stock, but I don't trade the options. Not much to trade there. Again, pretty much sideways action on the daily for the past couple of months. On the hourly, same deal. I guess if you do get a break of 320, maybe possibly look at some volume, see maybe you can catch a trade there. Morning, Carlos. Do you hold invest any altcoins? If so, what are they? I went ahead and posted that on Instagram. I own Stellar and Tezos. That's the two alts that I do own. And I also own, I forget which is the other one here. I have it on my Coinbase Pro. I can look it up. Give me a second. And I also own Cardano, 88 Cardano. That's what I own. Ethereum and Bitcoin, of course. Do you believe Apple has potential to break all-time highs by July or August? Actually, that'd probably be a really good bet for the simple fact that you need to wait for earnings. Again, 145.09. Next earnings report will probably be right around May. Should be May, if not June. So that'd be a pretty solid bet. So that's not terrible. But again, I think you'd be paying too much for those kind of leaps. So I'd just wait a little bit on that. But I do think that all-time highs are definitely in play. Do you think Tesla has a chance to recover 700 this week? 700 this week, yes, but I would not trade it. Right now, it's pretty much just sideways right now. So 700 this week, you have 2 more days. I would say 700 next week, if anything, but do not trade the options. It's just way too expensive. You're welcome. Thoughts on Blue? Blue. Don't know much on Bluebird Bio. I don't know much about this company whatsoever. Again, looking on the hourly, not much to work with. On the daily, nice big drawdown from 72.51 to 29.30. Good news is there is a gap to fill in the upside if you're playing upside, but again, I would say about 24, 25 if you were looking to buy the dip on the company. Thoughts on Square? What is your support and resistance? My buy level on Square will be 194 to buy some more. Right now, it's been sideways since last week. Really, the resistance, the next one, short-term resistance is right around 233, right above the 100-day moving average. 256.74 for a complete breakout. And of course, we know where all-time highs is. I think it's around 283. But again, I'm still very bullish on Square. What's your Apple position, if you don't mind sharing? Apple, let me go and bring up my positions here. Apple, I have the 125s for next week. Thoughts on Penn? Love Penn long term, love DKNG long term. I think they're both definitely worth holding. DKNG, August 20, 2021 call. Now, DKNG I had yesterday and it crushed me. So I'm going to stay away from DKNG for a little bit in regards to calls. Just doesn't work when it comes to options, but does great with the stock. So I would say no. All right, that's where we are today. Let me go ahead and bring up Apple so I can keep an eye on it. Should break to the upside now. We're getting a little bit of a pullback. We were up a little higher. You could see that we're pretty much riding that trend line on NQ futures. So again, it's really just a wait and see approach on Qs, holding up so far above that slight resistance up there. Can we still get into QQQ? Yeah, absolutely. All right, there's still long banks. I only own JPM. That's the only bank I own. And I own some longer term expiries on XLF. But other than that, no. All I own is JPM. And JPM is up nearly 70% of my portfolio. I actually bought some in March. All right, guys, we'll go ahead and March of last year. All right, guys, we're going to leave it there. I'll go ahead and give you the market recap later today after the bell. And then we'll kind of go over everything together on Instagram Live. So again, it's going to be fun. It was between doing that or typing a full-on paragraph thing. So I think visualization is probably best. So that's why I do the videos from now on, just like you like the morning notes. So Instagram for the market recap, YouTube for your morning notes. So we're always informing you guys. All right, guys, let's have a great trading day, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow for the morning note. Cheers, guys.